Hello and welcome to thesixaxis.com. I'm Stefan and today I've got the privilege of opening up the PlayStation 5 box. But because we're a little bit behind the curve, I'm just going to do it like this. And there we have it, a PlayStation 5. It just appeared out of nothingness really, didn't it? We've also got the DualSense controller here, and we've got some impressions of this already written up on thesixaxis.com as part of our Astro's Playroom preview, but you can also stick around for the rest of this video where I'll be talking about it and showing off some gameplay from that game as well. But the PlayStation 5, as you can see, is pretty big. And to illustrate just how big it is, behind the PS5, I've got a PS4. It is, as you can see, quite a bit bigger. It's also deeper and thicker. It's just bigger in every single dimension. But a big part of that is because of the massive fan inside of it, which does help it stay an awful lot quieter. While, you know, it's been 7 long years since the PlayStation 4 came out, there have been some significant jumps forward in terms of processing power. But that is all that we've got for this segment of the video, and we're now going to dive into Astro's Playroom and our quick DualSense preview. So, as we get to go hands-on with the PlayStation 5 for the first time, the first snippet of next-gen PlayStation gaming that we can share comes with Astro's Playroom. This also gives us ample opportunity to talk about the DualSense controller as well, because this is really designed as a showcase for the new controller's enhanced feedback and inputs. So sure, Astro hasn't got quite the same stature as Crash Bandicoot, Kratos, or even Sackboy used to do as being the de facto PlayStation mascot, but he's getting there, and this Asobi developed demo makes a perfect ambassador for the PS5 and DualSense. It helps that Astro's Playroom is pre-installed and free on every single PlayStation 5. Just about every action in Astro's Playroom will trigger a cascade of sound and haptic effects, the controller's rumble having far more finesse than before, vibrating certain parts of the pad instead of making the whole unit shake in your palms. It's an impressive advancement thanks in large part to the new linear resonant actuator, or LRA, vibration motors. Basically, instead of having a small weight that is spun at high speed, creating a rumble through the asymmetry of this, you have a small weight that creates its vibration by moving back and forth in a linear fashion, hence the name. It's also far more precise than the traditional rumble, and it can be shorter and sharper, much more expressive. You can really feel that here. As Astro runs around, you'll have these little tips and taps from his feet that just wouldn't be possible with the DualShock 4 motors. You can also have it accentuate the directional nature of the sound effects that are in the game, more clearly giving you something to the right hand side if that's where you're getting hit from, for example. But then there's the adaptive triggers, which seem to take the mechanisms found in racing wheels and shrink it down. This lets the triggers resist, add a kind of texture to when you depress them, and surprisingly add the kind of violent rattling of the old rumble, channeling it through your fingers. It's truly remarkable. It seems like an impressive feat to have managed to shrink this down to size. But it's much more than that. There's also the touchpad, there's the motion sensors, and in Astrobot there's the extensive, almost borderline obnoxious use of the little loudspeaker, which luckily for you, we haven't been able to translate into this video, as well as the new microphone that you'll be blowing into like it's a Nintendo DS game. It's all used together in an inventive fashion. In one section of the game, the Cooling Springs level, you will suit up as an android amphibian, using the touchpad to yank the zip on Astro's new costume. From there, Playroom briefly turns into a side-scrolling platformer in which you tilt your DualSense, pulling down on the right trigger then releasing it to jump. The subtle vibrations and mechanical noises, paired with the slight resistance from the adaptive triggers, it gives this action far more impact than a simple button press would have done. We're really excited to see how other developers implement the controller's new features as they look to dial up the atmosphere through the controller as well as the sound and the enhanced graphics of the PlayStation 5. We do hope that they are a little bit less excessive with the controller's speaker though. Astro's Playroom is also just full of cute little nods to the heritage of PlayStation. Instead of gathering useless go-ins, the items that you unlock are actual pieces of PlayStation hardware. Cooling Springs reminded us of one of the many PlayStation cameras, the PlayStation 3 sharpshooter, and so much more, appearing almost lifelike as they are rendered in such sumptuous high detail and float there in suspense. We've got more of this game to play, but as a first experience of the PlayStation 5, it is a great one. The nods to the past add to the joy of getting to finally get hands-on and experience what Sony's grand vision for the next generation is, and hint at what other developers might be able to pull off as well. And there we go, that is the extent of our video today. We've got the PlayStation 5 unboxed and we've had a quick look at Astro's Playroom. But that is not all that we're doing. We're doing so much more with this entire whole next-gen cycle. We've got the PS5 reviews coming in, we've got the Xbox Series X, which if you didn't spot it, is right there. We've got reviews of that coming, as well as all of the games which are going to be cross-platform, cross-gen, all of this palaver. So make sure to keep an eye out on this YouTube channel. We'll also expect to see you over on the sixaxis.com, and, well, just in general, we'll hopefully see you again soon. Goodbye!